Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. And I'm sitting in my office today and I had a thought, something I wanted to share with you. It's something based on feedback I've been getting from individuals really around the world, but clients that we're working with and people that we're building and growing their brands for. So if this is your first time listening, listen, the reason I'm doing the Daily Mastermind is because I want to inspire, motivate, and educate based on 25, 30 years of working around some great thought leaders, success experts, individuals that I believe are really crushing it in their lives and in their business. And I think at the end of the day, there are lessons that can be learned from these individuals. And when you're dealing with things in your life, and it might be struggles, it might be accountability, it might be plateaus, whatever it is, you're going to bump up against points in time where you're going to decide what you're going to do. Are you going to continue? Are you going to persist? Are you going to take time off? Or do you need a break? Do you have the ability to push through when you don't feel like doing things? And one of the things I talk about a lot, it's one of our prosperity pillars, is this idea that successful people act in spite of their mood. They act in spite of their mood. And I want to give you a little bit of a different lens. I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but how do you do that? How do you push through and do things when you don't feel like doing it, when you don't think you're getting the results, when you're not seeing what you want to have happen? How do you continue to act in spite of your mood? And I would argue that the solution is persistence. It is simply this idea of persistence. And it's like Les Brown said, I used to have him speak for me, and he just did a phenomenal job of saying, it's not over until I win. So persistence is the key for you to get results in your life. And I'm here to tell you, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're struggling with, it might be business, health, relationships, communication, personal struggles, whatever it is, the key to getting to the other side is persistence. Because let's be honest, you know as well as I do, whether you admit it or not, persistence is going to be the difference maker. Those that continue to persist will win. And at the end of the day, that persistence is something that I believe is nothing more than a state of mind. It's a state of mind. It's not about your willpower, your strength, your knowledge, your skill set. It's simply a state of mind. Ask David Goggins, ask anybody out there that has continued to persist and won. But persistence is going to require a mental, internal decision that you're going to make to act in spite of your mood. You have to make the decision that you are going to persist. So I want to talk about this topic of persistence for a minute, and I want to break it down for you. Maybe it'll give you a perspective. Maybe it'll give you some ideas. Who knows? But this is the point of the Daily Mastermind, right? We want to have perspective that applies to our life. So what is it going to do? What's it going to take for you to create persistence and really act in spite of your mood? Well, first of all, you've got to understand the value of this topic. Persistence. According to Napoleon Hill, it's the key difference between success and failure in so many different examples in life. I think you're gonna agree with me, whether you feel like it or not. Persistence is the difference maker between success and failure. And that's the first thing you really have to understand. The lack of persistence is one of the biggest things that's kept people from achieving their goals, dreams, and desires. All of us have experienced this, that internal voice that's asking you, is it time to quit? Do I need to let up? Is this worth my time? Is it worth my effort? We all have that voice that kind of at times tells us, this is just not worth it. The difference, the rewards, they're given to the people that push past that inner voice. They're given, the best life that you want to live is on the other side of that little voice you have in your head. Calvin Coolidge had a really good quote. He said, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unusual men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education's not going to take a place. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, press on, has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. And that is really what it's all about. So here's one of the things we don't talk about. Persistence is not something that I believe you just have. I believe it's something that is a state of mind, which means it's something that you can build, you can cultivate, you can grow, you can make better. Your ability to persist is a skill that you can develop, because lack of persistence can be changed by simply making more effort and continuing to move. It's not something that you either physically can do or not do. It's something that you can simply change by making a little bit more effort. So, what are the ways you can cultivate or build your ability to be persistent? Consistent action, right? We're talking about just continuing to go. Well, let me give you some thoughts out of Think and Grow Rich and a few others that I've kind of pulled aside over the years. Um, Having a definiteness of purpose will help you to persist. When you know what you want and what the end result's going to be, and you're really clear on it, you're going to be able to persist. One of the biggest problems entrepreneurs have in business is they don't have a definiteness of purpose. They're just trying to be successful. They don't know what their destination is they're shooting for. So it's much easier to give up or to change direction or change paths. So definiteness of purpose is a big one. Desire is another one. You can definitely grow and build your desire by finding ways to clarify what it is you want, or making it less about you, making it about other people. When you build a burning desire, you will persist despite your mood. Another thing that you don't think about is self-reliance. Persistence is easier when it's not dependent on someone else. When you're trying to make it to the gym, but you're waiting for your trainer or a buddy to go with you or something like that, it's much easier to step aside. As an entrepreneur, a business owner, a leader, you've got to learn to be self-reliant. That will help you to persist because it's not dependent on other people. Besides a definiteness of purpose, having a definiteness of plans, like talked about in Think and Grow Rich, is also key. When you have a definiteness of plans and your strategy and what you're doing, it will build your confidence because you know you have a plan. You're not just out there trying to make things happen. So having a plan and a strategy will help build your confidence and therefore your persistence. Obviously, applied or learned knowledge is talked about a lot. When you learn skills and you understand better how to do things and you're more confident and comfortable with doing what you do, you're going to persist because you know that your skills will help you to push through that boundary. Another thing that's really, the name of our daily mastermind is Mastermind for a reason. Cooperation and surrounding yourself with the right people and positive, like-minded people. That is going to help you to persist. If you are constantly bumping up against negativity and individuals that are doubters and people that are hating on what you're doing, it's going to be much harder to persist. So surround yourself with the right people in a mastermind, in your area. There's always ways. Surround yourself through audio, video, text, whatever it is, to get the support you need. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you're trying to do difficult things, do those in the beginning of the day. Do them in the part of the day that you have the most energy, because your willpower is in short supply and you want that to be maximized when you're trying to persist at things. It's hard to do that when your willpower is low, your energy is low, and you're trying to persist. And then obviously, you know what I'm going to say, daily rituals, habits. These are things that help you to persist regardless. I'm in such a habit of getting up in the morning and going to the gym. Now, let's be honest, I have my days, right? But I'm in such a habit of it, I don't question whether I'm going to get up and go to the gym. I just go. And so I don't have to worry about persisting, because when you make something a habit, you do it anyway. And you don't question every single time. Your ability to persist is in direct proportion to your ability to make decisions, which is the last thing I want to talk to you about. It's obviously important to understand the value of persistence and find ways proactively to build your persistence up. But in the end, it just boils down to a decision. And let me say this again, a one-time decision. If you're constantly redeciding if you want to do something, you've not made a decision. So you've got to make a decision and a commitment that you're going to, like our prosperity pillar number 3 says, act in spite of your mood. You're going to act in spite of your mood. Whether you feel like it or not, you made a decision to do it, you're going to do it. You're going to follow through. And let me give you some examples of people that persisted because they made the decision. NASA experienced 20 failures in its 28 attempts to send rockets to space, but they had already made a decision to do it. Tim Ferriss sent his breakthrough New York Times bestselling book, 4-Hour Workweek, to 25 publishers before somebody accepted it. Henry Ford failed and left. He basically went broke 5 times before he founded Ford Motor Company. Think about that. Walt Disney went bankrupt after failing at a bunch of businesses. He was even fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and creativity. Walt Disney, hello. Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison, Dr. Seuss, Jack London, the author, received 600 rejections before his first story was accepted. I mean, that's some pretty big persistence, right? Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team for not being good enough. Oh, here's one of my favorites. J.K. Rowling was nearly penniless, depressed, divorced, single mom, went on to school, who basically went to school while writing Harry Potter, and went from needing government assistance to being one of the richest women in the world in a 5-year span through just persisting. So I don't want to beat a dead horse here. The bottom line is persistence is going to be the key. So no matter where you're at, no matter what you're thinking, no matter what you're dealing with, stop trying to solve the problem. Stop trying to hope or wish for less issues, less problems, more streamlined answers, some solution you're trying to get to. You know what the solution is? Just keep going. Just keep going. The solution is not looking for that magic solution. This is the problem most entrepreneurs and business owners and people in life just lack. Persistence. If you persist, you will eventually get past the obstacle that you have. Just don't give up. So that's the message I wanted to give you today, because so many people are struggling and looking for answers and looking at the problem and focused on this and focused on that. I truly believe that you were meant to live your best life. I believe that it's never too late to create your best life, the one that you were meant to live. And the only thing standing in your way is persistence. Because if you continue to persist, you'll get a plan. You'll find the right people. You'll get the right resources. You'll find a way to be more productive. But persistence is something you can develop, something that if you focus on will help you to decide that you're going to be successful, and then you can get to the next level. So anyway, that's my message for today. I hope it's something that at least helps you. It gives you some perspective, a different way to look at things. And I will tell you this. We're here to help you. The Daily Mastermind was put in place. We're at, I think it's like 1,200 episodes now over many, many years. I run several businesses. I'm focused on helping to grow brands and do marketing, things like that. But I do the Daily Mastermind because I want to help. So if you are struggling or you are looking for ways to get to the next level, or you just simply want to share your wins, hit us up. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you're struggling with. We have so many resources that we can help you with. Just hit us up. Look at the show notes. Go to the Daily Mastermind on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. That's what I'm here for. I hope it helps you. I hope there's something we can do for you. And I appreciate you being here. Once again, my name is George Wright III. This has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.